This is the most powerful credit repair secret that feels illegal to know. Everyone's talking the same nonsense over and over and over again. Oh, you file this actual dispute letter and then you send it to the CFPB and you put the consumer law on there and they're gonna delete it. It's a 100% lie. That's not what we're gonna talk about today. So let's just go ahead and get that on the table because we're not pushing false information on our channel. Today's episode is gonna be one of the most groundbreaking credit repair videos you've ever seen in your life. This is not financial advice or legal advice, and I am not an attorney, but I actually work with a bunch of attorneys. This is where I always get my information from. Well, not all of it, but I've been doing this for over a decade and a half, so I bring a lot of experience, and then I team up with attorneys to learn as much as I possibly can for new tactics to always make sure that we are staying ahead of the curve, and that helps you, every single one of our subscribers. This video is gonna have 4 very important parts to it that you do not want to miss. Part 1, how the Fair Billing Act works. Part 2, rules to use as a consumer. Part 3, rules for card issuers and lenders that they must abide by. And part 4, how can you use this in credit repair if you got jacked up credit and you're dealing with some of these issues. So let's get into this video because we have a lot of ground to cover. Oh, and then I'm gonna tell you about a new course that's gonna release at the end, so you don't wanna miss that either. So let's get into part 1. The Fair Credit Billing Act is a federal law. The Federal Trade Commission enforces the Fair Credit Billing Act, which covers open-ended credit accounts, such as credit cards, charge accounts, and lines of credit. The act provides consumers with protection from unfair billing practices. You know when you ever had a discrepancy on your credit card or your credit card charged off and you actually have a discrepancy about that charge off? Well, you had no idea that you have rights that are being violated because nobody ever talks about this. Now, what types of charges are we talking about? Charges that are not authorized by the consumer, charges with the wrong date or amount, charges for goods or services that were not delivered, charges for goods or services that you received but were not as described, which happens a lot, calculation errors, charges for which the consumer needs clarification, and billing statements delivered to an incorrect address. You know how often that happens and people don't know that they have a right to fight that? That's pretty crazy. How many of you have actually ordered something with a credit card online and then you got it and you're like, what is this trash? This isn't what I ordered. Or even better, it's broken, it's not working. And then you feel like, okay, now I'm screwed, I have nothing to do. No, actually you do. Your credit card protects you every single transaction. Let's jump to part 2, rules to use as a consumer. This list is very important. You need to pay attention, bust out a pen and paper and write this down, pause the video and screenshot it if you need to. This is vital. Consumers have 60 days from the time they receive their credit card or loan bill to dispute a charge with the credit card issuer or the lender. Charges must be over $50 to be eligible for a dispute. Complaints must be filed in writing. Don't call them over the phone and file a dispute with them over the phone. Don't send them an email. You need to type up a very simple letter and dispute it in writing and send it certified mail. However, here's the big but. If a credit card was lost or stolen, a consumer may dispute charges by phone rather than in writing because, of course, you got to call them immediately and let them know that your credit card was stolen, right? So you do have that right to dispute those charges over the phone if your credit card was lost or stolen. But even if you do it over the phone, make sure that you type up a letter after you get off the phone with them and send them a letter certified mail. You want a track record. We can't trust anybody about any of this because they could simply say, oh, we never got a phone call from you. What are you talking about? And then all of a sudden you're stuck having to fit this bill and pay this massive bill after your credit card was lost or stolen. And that's what you do not want. Here's some crazy sauce. If a consumer has a dispute with a merchant, they can ask the card issuer or lender to withhold payment and request that it help resolve the dispute. So basically you could tell the lender, yo, all right, stop that payment. We need to figure out this situation with the dispute because they cannot ask you for payment if you are disputing something. They cannot actually report that actual issue or that payment issue. So they can't actually report it to the credit reporting agencies telling them that you're late while it's under dispute. And we'll cover that right now in a minute also. Now pay attention to the words here. If an unauthorized user makes purchases with a credit card, the cardholder's liabilities are limited to $50. But if a person is authorized to use a card but makes unauthorized purchases with it, those charges are not covered by the Fair Credit Billing Act, and the cardholder is liable for them, if I could say that properly. Now, the final one for this is consumers can challenge the results of the lender's investigation within 10 days. So if you're not happy with their investigation, you do in fact have the right to actually fight back and tell them, no, that's not okay. I'm gonna actually respond to you and I'm going to challenge you within those 10 days. Stick with me. I know this is really confusing, but I really wanna give you all of the information because it's very important that you have all of it so you don't stumble and you make the right choices moving forward. Now here is the juicy sauce. We're not to the end yet. This is really good information. Part 3, rules for card issuers and lenders that they must abide by, because remember, this is a federal law. Pay very close attention to all of these rules that I'm about to tell you, because these are groundbreaking for people when you file a dispute directly with the creditor. Remember, we want to file a dispute directly with the creditor, and if I were you, I would file a dispute with the actual credit reporting agencies at the same time, because now you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. The card issuer or lender has 30 days to acknowledge receipt of the complaint or dispute. This is the biggest mistake that lenders make. They don't have a system to actually respond, or they just don't care because they don't expect you to know your rights, and they don't send you a letter acknowledging it. Guess what? If they don't send that letter in that 30-day window and they do not acknowledge it, now they can be sued. The next one is huge. The lender has 90 days to complete an investigation, during which time it is not allowed to try to collect payment on the disputed amount, charge interest on it, or report it to the credit bureaus as late. It can, however, report it is being in dispute. So it can show on your credit report that it is in dispute, or it'll say like consumer disputes or in dispute. It can, in fact, show that on your credit report. But this is huge, because if your account charged off and you actually filed a dispute right as you got that bill that said your account was charged off, and you sent them a dispute and they reported it as a charge off, guess what? You just caught them in a real clear violation. See what we did there? It's pretty obvious. If you have a billing discrepancy, or you believe the amount's not right, or a charge is not right, something is not right on your bill, you immediately send in a dispute directly to the creditor, and then of course you send it to the actual credit reporting agencies. Send it to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You want to send it to SageStream, Clarity, and Innovis, because all of these companies are in fact reporting that information. Dispute it everywhere, but the creditor is the most important part of that series of disputing. All of these amateur credit repair people out there, they don't dispute with the original creditors because they don't understand how to do it properly. They're just sending template letters out to the major 3 credit reporting agencies, and that is it. Here's the rest of it. If a lender finds that the dispute is valid, it must correct the error and refund any fees or interest that was charged as a result. But it doesn't stop there, it keeps going just a little bit more. If the lender decides the dispute is invalid, it must explain its findings and provide documentation to the consumer. I know you've heard all these amateurs on social media that tell you, oh, if you send in a dispute and they don't respond, or they say it's verified, I want to see proof. They really mixed it up. The Fair Credit Reporting Act does not say you need to provide proof, but the Fair Credit Billing Act does. And if they do not provide that proof and evidence that they're stating of how they made their decision, guess what? You can sue them because they are violating this actual act. But be aware, this only applies to open-ended credit, which are credit cards, charge cards, and home equity lines of credit. It does not apply to closed-ended credit, which are auto loans, mortgages, and home equity loans. Be aware. So the question is, how can you use this in credit repair with any issues with credit cards, right? Let's say hypothetically, an actual credit card charges off. You have the right to dispute that charge off and say, hey, hold on, these charges don't seem right to me. Any transaction or any charges, you can dispute any of that directly with the creditor, and they must follow the processes. So let's say, for instance, they do an investigation, but they say, hey, you finally get a letter, let's say 60 or 90 days from when you actually file that dispute directly with the creditor, and they respond to you, we find that your actual dispute is not valid and the charges are in fact valid, so we are going to charge you for it and the account is going to charge off. But here's the big but. They never sent you a notice within that 30-day window that they acknowledged and received your dispute. That is a direct violation. And even if the charges were valid, now you got them and you can sue them. Now, using it in credit repair, you need to understand that if you file a dispute with the creditor or the lender, they cannot retaliate. What do I mean by that? This is something that's very common when someone disputes something or disputes an entire account or disputes the transactions. The lender tends to actually retaliate, sorry if I could say that, and they may cancel an authorized user. They may close the account or restrict the account. They cannot reduce the credit limit available either. They cannot retaliate whatsoever. If they retaliate against you after you file the dispute, that's an immediate lawsuit. Now, you've probably heard people say that an FDCPA violation, they can have multiple violations and it's only $1,000. With an FCBA violation, a Fair Credit Billings Act violation, it is $5,000. I hope you truly actually learned something today and grasp all of this information that I just taught you, because it is truly groundbreaking. And if you are in fact one of those credit repair companies out there that is tired of sending out template letters and you're ready to start working with real attorneys, reach out to me, let me know. I'm telling you right now, credit repair, standard bootleg template letter credit repair is over and done with. You have to understand what you're up against here. We work with real attorneys, and we're going to release a new CRO attorney course. Now, this is literally a consumer law course that is designed specifically by attorneys, not those bootleggers out there that claim they know consumer law this and consumer law that, and they're wearing an actual Adidas jumpsuit. No, we're not talking about those people. This is a Consumer Law 101 course that was created by consumer law attorneys, the law firm that we actually work with, that we have teamed up with, and we've been working with them for a while now. They have dropped this course that is groundbreaking for all of you actual credit repair people out there that want to learn real information to apply to your credit repair business and turn your credit repair company around. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, standard template credit repair is coming to an end. Mark my words, you guys think this is a game. I'm trying to teach everybody here something. More than anything, this is about my subscribers, but I want every credit repair company out there to really think hard about what you're doing and understand it's time to change. If you don't change, you're going to become just like the dinosaurs and become extinct. Link for the actual credit repair organization's 101 consumer law course is going to be in the video description, and it's going to be pinned in the comments. If you are out there and you are dealing with issues with your credit and you need an attorney to help you fix your credit, then reach out to my team. Link is going to be in the video description and pinned at the very top of the comments also. We are here to help you, but I'm gonna give you all the sauce every single day. Mark my words. This is just the beginning. I haven't even scratched the surface, ladies and gentlemen. I have so much more information that none of these amateurs out there have. Make sure to comment attorney if you need an attorney to help you fix your credit. I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered a major groundbreaking new credit repair tactic that you've never heard about, because of course none of these other amateur credit repair company people know what they're talking about. But make sure that you watch this next video that I'm gonna put up here on the screen, because it is about another credit repair tactic that you may not have heard about. If you feel that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.